Hi, welcome back. And today I wanted to do something different. I'm not talking about bread for once. Something I've been wanting to do on this channel is to do some book reviews, specifically some faith-based book reviews. And the first choice, it's something near and dear to my heart. It's music involved. I've been in choirs since I was like 6, not so much the last like 10 years. I've like taken a break from that just because I haven't really been going to a church with a choir, and yeah, so I just have been taking a break from that, but it's still something I love and cherish. So I chose a book called I know it's backwards, Great Christian Hymn Writers by Jane Stuart Smith and Betty Carlson. It's really, it's a good book. If you want to do a deep dive on hymn writers, this isn't the the book for you. I don't even know if that's the right term, deep dive, but if you want to learn a lot about each hymn writer, this isn't necessarily the book that you want, but it's 48 chapters. The last chapter is just on hymn writers that are only remembered for one hymn. But it goes over a lot of the hymn writers for some of the most popular hymns. One that I thought I read about in here for some reason, probably just because I've read about him in the past, is I think it's Horatio Spafford. He wrote It Is Well With My Soul. If you haven't heard the story behind that song, you need to look it up, because like I don't know how he was able to write such a beautiful song while dealing with something so tragic. But yeah, that song just touches your heart in a new way when you know the history behind the composition when he wrote it. So I highly recommend looking that up. But this book definitely talks about a lot of hymn writers that I've maybe not known their names, but I've known their songs over the years. Each chapter is only 2 or 3 pages long. So usually when I'm going through a book in the morning, I like to just read like one chapter because I like to just really take it in. But with this book, since the chapters were so short, I was reading like probably 5 or 6 chapters a day. So it is a pretty quick read. You could probably finish this in just like a day or two if you really had the time to set aside to go through it. So it's a good overview, but like I said, you do not, like, if you want to learn more about each specific hymn writer, I'm sure there's more books out there. They actually have a good bibliography of where they got a lot of their information from, and they even reference their information a couple times in some of the chapters, like, we got this information from this book. So yeah, so there's a complete bibliography in the back. I don't know if you can see that, but yeah, so I might actually look up some of those books that were referenced in here, because I like learning more about hymns. And it's definitely good. I feel like some chapters, like there's certain hymn writers that I know you could learn a lot about, like Isaac Newton, who wrote Amazing Grace. His story's crazy. And Isaac Watts as well. There's probably more information I could get about him because he is another famous hymn writer. But yeah, so this is really good if you just want to know just some basics about some of the hymn writers. I do recommend it if you just want a quick read and want to learn a little bit. It's also, the thing that really jumped out to me is like, oftentimes I think stuff I'm going through is like really heavy, just because there's some stuff that happened over the last, I don't know, less than 10 years, that were difficult. But like after reading this, it's like, man, some of these people were able to write such beautiful songs, even though they were dealing with sickness their entire life and just feeling not great. horrific tragedy, like losing children, losing spouses, just all sorts of like crazy stuff happening in their lives. But yet, through it, God used them to write these beautiful songs that have lived for, in some cases, centuries. So, yeah, it's just a great reminder that, like, what I'm going through really isn't that big of a deal. And yet, how is God using me through those trials? Because they're really not that bad. And God should be using that to, well, is using that to grow me, but am I being stubborn like I am prone to be? So, yeah, I'm a bit stubborn at times. But yeah, so hopefully that mindset stays with me. Like, how is God using those hard times and growing me and using them to influence people as well? So I think that is an important takeaway because, yeah, like I said, a lot, like I would say like probably 90%, maybe less, maybe that's an exaggeration, of the hymn writers have been through some crazy stuff, and it's mentioned in here. So yeah, so it's just amazing how God was able to use tragedy and sickness to bring these people to a place where they could compose something beautiful out of something ugly. Anyway, that is going to be it for this book review. I should have another book review in a couple weeks. I am currently reading, I'm trying to remember the title. I know it's Thomas Watson. I think it's The Art of Divine Simplicity. No, it's not a Divine Simplicity book. Divine Contentment. I don't know why I went that other route. Divine Contentment. So I'm working on that right now, and it's not that many chapters, so I should be through it within the next couple weeks, because that one's going to be one that I probably just do a chapter a day. So yeah, be on the lookout for that. And if you haven't already, feel free to subscribe if you're on YouTube, follow if you're on Rumble, give this video a like. Hey, in the comments, since this is a book on hymns, tell me what your favorite hymns are. I'd like to know, because I will say that It Is Well With My Soul is probably one of my favorites, especially knowing the backstory. It just like really impacted me. So, but like I said, that one's not in here. I think it might have been mentioned by someone who was maybe like a contemporary of his. But yeah, so just leave a comment with your favorite hymns, who your favorite hymn writer is, if you have a favorite hymn writer. And yeah, I'd like to hear that, because maybe you have a song that I haven't like sung a lot, because I grew up in a church that was like, we occasionally did hymns, but a lot of it was contemporary Christian music or modern day hymns as well. So there's a lot of hymns out there that I don't even know. Like, I went to a different church one time where it was exclusively hymns. And I was like, yeah, I've never heard this hymn before. So, yeah, so share some of your favorite hymns. I'd like to hear what they are. I will look them up. I'm not joking. I will look them up. And yeah, just give this video a like, share it, and maybe share some books that you're reading as well, because I could always use more books. Granted, we have a lot of books and that I still need to get through, so maybe I shouldn't be buying more books. But yeah, so that is gonna be it for me today. I'm done rambling. Wow, I can't talk. It's early. I record these things before the kids are up so that I have quiet. So yeah, my mouth does not necessarily connect to the brain. So yeah, that is it. I am done rambling for now. And I will see you all next video. And it should be another, it's going to be a little check-in on my little sourdough starter. And yeah, I'm not gonna just do bread videos. As this is obvious, I'm gonna do book reviews. There's gonna be more. I got a lot of ideas for this channel. So yeah, I will see you all next time. Bye.